Do you think there's a place for pause only mesocycle, macrocycle type of training for powerlifters? And what could be the possible drawbacks be? I don't want to answer the specifics of this question first. I want to answer the metaphysical, existential question that you're asking here, John.
I'll answer the specifics.
You answer the specifics. My problem, most people's problems with training, is they try to make things very simple, and they try to make things very the samey and very consistent. People just want to do, just like they want to. It's hard for them to think out a training block and think out a training plan where there's moving parts and there's a lot of variables. So I would question, John, why would you do this? A lot of people, and you see it so much, where people are like, can I just do 5x5 3 times a week? Because it's hard, because things might go wrong. You need to know what you're doing and where you're going, and then you need to kind of push yourself to adapt to further things. So in terms of do you think there's a place for insert X, Y, and Z type of meso macro cycle? I would just look at, why do you want to train like that? And is it because you truly think this is the best thing for your lifting? Or, John, do you think this is because you're in a bit of a rut with training, or you're not sure what it is you should be doing with training, so you're like, okay, I can kind of do this for training, and this will put me in a place where I'll make gains and it'll be easy to follow? That's what I might think about that, John.
John, in terms of the specifics of this, right, pause only mesocycle or pause only macrocycle for powerlifters, why might you use it? Pause only, in my case, I'd never just go to a pause only anything. It's like when we talked about snatches and clean and jerks earlier, the derivatives are there as a tool to fix things, and in the case of the pause squat, it's there as a tool to fix something. Obviously there's a lot of crashy squatters out there, there's a lot of squatters who lack depth. There's a number of reasons we might use the pause squat. Even in that case where you might be a chronic high squatter, or you might be a chronic crashy squatter at the same time, paused only cycles are just going to really limit you. So the weight isn't as good, the tempo and the movement you're using with the lift isn't as good, your long-term progression to get to heavier weights won't be as good. You just need to use these things as tools that you put in. You bring them in for 3 or 4 weeks, fix something. In the case of powerlifting, or in the case of a morphological change, you might bring them in for 6 to 8 weeks, or you might bring them in for 2 or 3 months. But you just bring it in when you need to, and then take it out and go back to normal training. It'd be like if you're an electrician and you have a load of tools at your disposal. No, today I'm going to wire the house with only a hammer. You could probably wire the house with only a hammer. You could bang away the insulation off the wires and then cut them with the little hook on the back of your hammer, and then you could smash a hole in the wall and put a socket in there with only your hammer. But it's clearly not the best way, and it's not the fastest way. But the hammer then is really useful for some jobs.